Have you ever wondered why some people seem to achieve everything they set their minds to, while others live in a constant cycle of frustration and stagnation? Maybe you woke up today feeling like you were destined for something greater, but something invisible keeps holding you back. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. The truth is that most people fail not because of a lack of talent or effort, but because they're operating from outdated, sabotaging, and limiting mental programming. Success, according to the world's greatest leaders and thinkers, does not begin with external action, but rather with the way you train and direct your mind every day. Napoleon Hill, author of Think and Grow Rich, understood this like few others. He revealed that the world's greatest achievers have something in common: a daily routine of mental reprogramming that keeps them aligned with their most ambitious goal. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. This video is for you. If you are tired of repeating the same mistakes, of feeling like you are always one step away from something big but never quite achieving it, if you are looking for personal development, want to master your mindset, cultivate successful habits, build solid internal leadership, and become unshakable in the face of challenges, you are in the right place. Here, we go beyond superficial motivation. We'll dive into real, actionable, proven strategy to help you finally unlock your potential and become the architect of your own story. If you're committed to personal growth and want to reach the next level in your life and career, you need to understand that it all starts in your mind. Imagine for a moment the power of waking up every day, mental clarity, absolute focus, and an unwavering vision of what you want to achieve. Imagine transforming every challenge into momentum, every criticism into fuel, every doubt into motivation. This is not a pipe dream. This is what happens when you master your mental reprogramming routine. Napoleon Hill taught us that organized and emotionally charged thinking is the engine of success. When you learn to create a routine that reinforces your goals, your identity as a winner, and your vision for the future on a daily basis, everything around you begins to change. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. But here's a caveat. We're not talking about magic. We're talking about neuroscience, focus, repetition, intention. We're talking about you taking control of your mind day after day until your thoughts are fully aligned with the results you want to manifest. So, if you want to stop living on autopilot, stuck in patterns that only hold you back, and are ready for a real transformation, stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, you will discover how to apply the Step 7, the Mind Reprogram Routine, the step that connects everything Napoleon Hill taught us with a powerful practice that can completely change your reality. And the best part? You don't need external tool. You don't need another expensive course. You don't need to wait another year. Everything you need is already there inside you, waiting to be activated. Let's do this together, because the journey starts now. Before you continue, let me tell you something important. Here, on this channel, you are not alone. You are part of a community of people who believe in the power of personal development, the strength of a growth mindset, and the transformation that starts from the inside out. Each video is made with you in mind, as you have decided not to conform to the average. And if you have come this far, it is because something inside you has already started to change. Now tell me, what word or short phrase represents what you want to live from today on? It could be something like armored mindset, daily action, inner leadership, or even mental reprogramming. Choose one or two that really resonate with what you believe, and leave them in the comment. I will personally read and leave a heart on each one. Yes, I follow everything you write, because this channel is made with you and for you. When you speak out, you take a stand. You declare to the world, and more importantly, to yourself, that you are committed to your evolution. And this simple act already begins to transform your mindset. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. Clicking subscribe and liking this video isn't just supporting the channel. It's a concrete step on your path to change. You're showing your brain that you're taking control, that you're surrounding yourself with content that feeds your mind, not distracts it. So comment below your power word, like subscribe, and let's go together on this journey towards your next level. Because what comes next will shake up everything you thought was possible. Have you ever noticed how Sometimes, even with all the desire to change, even with well-defined goals, something still holds you back. That feeling that there is something invisible but powerful working against what you want to build. And no matter how much you try to act, your mind always ends up pulling you back to old patterns. This is not weakness, it is not a lack of ability, and it is definitely not your final destination. What happens is that your mind is still being guided by a programming that you did not consciously choose. And what you will learn today is how to change this in a practical way, with strategy and, above all, with consistency. Napoleon Hill said that whatever the human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But he also warned about something that many ignore: the importance of reprogramming your thoughts daily. Because the environment, the beliefs we inherit, negative experience, and even the people around us have the power to reconfigure our mental pattern without us realizing it. Your mind, if it is not led by you, will be led by chance. And that is exactly what has been making you go around in circles. Now, take a deep breath and pay attention. The content you are about to absorb is not cheap motivational theory. It is a method, a framework, a proven way to regain control of your life. You don't have to be a genius to apply it. You just need to be present right now with full attention, because what we are going to build together here is a new foundation for your results. And it all starts with your mental routine. How many times have you woken up with your head full of doubts, fears, and repetitive thoughts, feeling stuck before you even started your day? This is no coincidence. It is a consequence. It is the result of years of allowing automatic thoughts, many of them negative and based on scarcity, to take control. And when you start your day with a disorganized mind, the decisions you make, the focus you maintain, even the opportunities you see, all of this is affected. That is why daily mental reprogramming is the true game changer between those who live in repetition and those who live in expansion. The routine that Hill proposes is simple but powerful, and like everything that really works, it requires intention. First, you need to understand that your mind is a garden, and every day someone plants something in it. Either you, with awareness, with ideas that strengthen you, with clear visualizations of your goals, with affirmations that build your new identity, or the world, with doubts, distractions, fears, and expectations of others. The question you need to ask yourself now is, who is cultivating your mind today? Your reprogramming begins when you decide to stop feeding your subconscious with chaos and start nourishing it with clarity. Just imagine how your life will change if, as soon as you wake up, before opening any social media, before listening to anyone else's opinion, you take 5 minutes to say to yourself, with conviction, I am the creator of my reality. Everything I need is already within me. Today, I act with courage, focus, and discipline. This, repeated every day with emotion and intention, will begin to shape who you become. And more, visualize. Visualize what your ideal life is like, not on any level, but in the smallest detail. What is your environment like? How do you behave? How do you feel when you achieve your goal? What is your posture? Who do you spend time with? This visualization is not just an exercise in imagination. It is a neurological activation that prepares your brain to recognize paths, opportunities, and actions that are consistent with this new self. Science has already proven this. The brain does not distinguish between what is experienced and what is intensely visualized with emotion. So, yes, visualizing is training your mind for success even before it manifests physically. Now, pay attention to this. Everything you feel is reinforcing an identity. When you feel fear, you are reaffirming that you are someone who must protect yourself. When you feel insecure, you are confirming that you do not trust yourself. And when you feel confident, even without any apparent external reason, you are programming yourself to act more boldly. Emotional repetition is what consolidates a new identity, and daily emotional repetition is the essence of mental reprogramming. Therefore, your routine needs to include words that lift you up, visions that move, and emotions that drive you. Only then will you replace a sabotaging mental pattern that have been planted in you for years, perhaps by parents who were also lost, by experiences of failure, by unfair comparison, or even by silent traumas that left invisible scars. But it doesn't matter what was planted. What matters is that you now have the power to choose what to cultivate. And your new reality begins precisely with this choice. Your mind needs daily leadership, and this leadership begins when you stop consuming any content as soon as you wake up and start creating your own mental state. This is not ego, this is strategy. The person you are becoming depends directly on what you feed within yourself every day, without exception. And the beauty of this is that you don't need anything external, only your decision. Because in the end, success is a consequence of the identity you build and strengthen with your daily action, especially your mental one. And that's why, from now on, I want to challenge you to do something different. Something simple, but deeply transformative. Before you go on with your day, leave a sentence in the comments that represents what you are building internally. It could be something like, unshakable leadership, action with clarity, or even, I am the author of my story. Write whatever resonates with you. Don't overthink it. Let your new identity begin to manifest itself through the words you choose to say and write. And yes, I will read each comment one by one and leave my heart, because this channel is not about video. It's about people like you who have decided to take their own path, grow, lead their own lives, and inspire others by example. If you felt that this message spoke to you, please like the video. This shows YouTube that this content transforms and makes it reach more people who, like you, are looking for self-mastery, clarity, growth mindset, and real strategies to achieve success. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time. Clicking subscribe isn't just supporting this work. It's saying to yourself, I'm committed to my evolution. I'm building something bigger. I'm ready to lead my own life. Shall we continue? The next step will show you how to turn this routine into an unbreakable habit, because reprogramming is just the beginning. Consolidating is where the magic happens. Have you ever noticed that often it is not a lack of knowledge that prevents you from taking action, but rather that inner voice that insists on telling you that you will not be able to do it? It is as if, even knowing what needs to be done, you get stuck. And this blockage has nothing to do with laziness or lack of ability. It comes from a much deeper root, your mental programming. And that is exactly where so many people's blind spot lies. Napoleon Hill was one of the first to clearly show that the key to success does not lie in isolated action, but in the way our mind is trained every day to react, decide, and persist. Success is a daily construction that begins within, long before it appears in external results. And that's what we're talking about here. Today, I'm going to show you a strategy that few people know about, and even fewer people apply consistently. A mental routine that has the power to transform sabotaging beliefs into empowering beliefs, to convert doubts into clarity, to exchange procrastination for decisive action. And it doesn't matter where you came from or what you've experienced so far. The beauty of this reprogramming is that it doesn't require ideal conditions. It just requires that you're willing to take control of your mind, even if it's little by little. You've probably heard about visualization, positive affirmations, meditation, and focus. But what no one has shown you yet is how to create a powerful sequence that actually works in your daily life. Because what you need is not more information. You need a practical routine that you can incorporate into your daily life, even on the days when everything seems difficult. And this routine, which Hill called re-education of the subconscious mind, starts with something very simple but extremely neglected: the conscious choice of how you want to feel and act every day. Let's face it, there's no point in waking up full of ideas, making mental promise that you're going to change your life, but continuing to consume the same content, talking to the same negative people, feeding the same self-deprecating thoughts, and repeating the same word that weaken your identity. What defines your day, and therefore your future, is how you start and conduct your mind in the early hours of the morning. That's where everything is defined. And Hill already said, the mind that is not consciously directed becomes a slave to circumstances. Now think about it. What would it be like if, starting today, you began to direct your mind with the same discipline that a conductor conducts an orchestra? Imagine starting the day with a clear intention, with powerful affirmations that are not just pretty phrases, but declarations of the person you are becoming. Affirmations like, I act with courage even in the face of fear. My discipline is greater than my excuses. Or, I am the creator of my financial, emotional, and spiritual reality. These words, when repeated with intention, begin to shape new neural connections. They are not magic, they are practices. They are commands that you give to your brain, saying, "This is what we are going to live today." And it doesn't stop there. After affirmation comes visualization. And here's another powerful point that Napoleon Hill advocated: you need to see with your mind's eye before you can live with your body's eye. When you visualize your success in detail, feeling, seeing, hearing, and feeling as if you've already achieved it, you're training your reticular activating system. This system is responsible for filtering everything you see, hear, and perceive. And when it's trained to recognize opportunities, coherent behaviors, and paths to growth, your brain begins to act like a veritable success radar. But here's the thing: without routine, all of this becomes just a passing fancy. The key is repetition. Hill called this autosuggestion. He said that the subconscious mind accepts any idea that is repeated often enough, especially if it is emotionally charged. That's why you can't just repeat cold word. You have to feel it. You have to believe it. You have to repeat it until it becomes automatic, natural, yours, because that's exactly where change begins, when the new mental pattern automatically replaces the old one. From that point on, your actions change effortlessly, because they become the consequence of a new identity. And I want you to understand one thing right now. This reprogramming routine is not about fooling yourself or creating a fictional reality. It's about leading your mind, giving it the right commands, until it aligns with the most powerful version of who you really are. And this doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen in a few minutes a day, with presence, with discipline, with purpose. You may be thinking, "But I've tried so many things and they've never worked." And I understand. Many people get to that point. But what was missing was perhaps not effort, but direction, a clear structure, a method. And that's exactly what you're getting right now. And not just getting it, but living it if you really apply it. And as part of that, I want to offer you a quick reflection. What is the word that represents your new beginning? It could be courage, clarity, mastery, freedom, or even fearless action. Think about that word. And when you finish this video, write it in the comment, because writing is a way of reinforcing this choice within yourself. And yes, I will read it. I will leave my heart in each comment, because this is not an ordinary video. This is a process of real transformation, and you are part of it. If you feel like this content is speaking directly to you, it is. And I invite you to do something for yourself right now. Like this video, because it shows that you value content that feeds the mind. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because the next videos will delve even deeper into this journey. And believe me, this is just the beginning. The next step is where you will understand how to shield this routine against self-sabotage, against distraction, against the internal saboteurs that always appear when you start to grow. So stay with me. Let's move forward together, because what comes next will consolidate this change and take you to a new level of awareness and action. You may have already found yourself stuck in this cycle. You start out excited, full of energy, make important decisions, set clear goals, change your routine for a few days, but suddenly everything seems to go back to the same place. Old habits return as if they had never gone away. Procrastination takes over. Self-sabotage appears subtly, silently, almost imperceptibly, but powerfully. And when you least expect it, you are back where you started, with that bitter feeling of frustration that nothing is really changing. And worst of all, carrying the weight of guilt, as if the failure were a consequence of your lack of willpower. But let me tell you something that can completely change the way you see this situation. It is not your fault. The problem is in the program that is running in your mind without you realizing. Yes, what is stopping you from moving forward is not a lack of desire to change. It is that your mind has been conditioned for years to operate under a mental pattern of scarcity, fear, survival, and repetition. You grew up hearing phrases like, "Money doesn't grow on trees." You have to try really hard to achieve something. Those who try too hard always get frustrated. It's better not to dream big. And these messages have been installed like codes in your subconscious, shaping your decision, your limits, and even what you believe you are capable of achieving. And here is the truth that no one tells you. Until these codes are replaced, you will continue repeating the same behavior, even when you are surrounded by good intention. You don't fail because you want to. You fail because your brain is programmed to maintain what is known, even if what is known is suffering, scarcity, or frustration. It's the mental survival. The subconscious mind doesn't care if something is good or bad for your success. It just wants to repeat what is familiar. That's why every time you try to create a new habit without first changing the basis of your mindset, your own internal system goes on alert and pulls you back. And that's exactly why so many attempts end in frustration. You've probably noticed this before. You start a new project, a life change, a new routine. Everything seems to be going well, but all it takes is one stressful day, a criticism from someone, a doubt that pops up out of nowhere, and that's it. You stop, you freeze, you sabotage yourself, and worst of all, you start to doubt yourself. You start to wonder if you really have what it takes to see it through. This destroys your confidence, and when self-confidence is compromised, all your power to act weakens. Now think about it. What would it be like if, instead of sabotaging your mind started to protect you by strengthening your discipline? What would it be like if, instead of giving in to fear, you felt compelled to act with courage, clarity, and direction? What would it be like if, when faced with a difficulty, you immediately activated an internal leadership posture within yourself, instead of retreating? This is possible, but it only happens when you reprogram your mind to operate in a new pattern. And this new pattern needs to be built consciously, day after day, with intention. Napoleon Hill called it mind mastery. It's not just about thinking positively. It's about replacing the mental commands of fear with commands of confidence, replacing scarcity with abundance. Stop expecting the worst and start expecting the best, because what you expect determines what you build, and expectation is born from your mental programming. That is why, even surrounded by information, books, courses, and videos like this one, many people remain stuck. They understand what they need to do, but they cannot sustain the action because the root is contaminated. And when the root is contaminated, the fruit cannot be different. The good news is that you do not have to live another year, another month, another week repeating this pattern. The change begins right now, the moment you choose to take control of your programming. I know you've tried everything. I know you've tried hard. You've promised yourself you'd change. You've started all over again several times, but this time is different. Because now you understand what's behind the repetition. Now you have clarity about the cause. And those who have clarity have power. The power to choose, the power to transform, the power to build a new identity. And identity is everything, because you only act in a way that is consistent with who you believe you are. So, I want to invite you now to observe the thoughts that dominate your day. What have you been saying to yourself in your moments of silence? What do you believe is possible for your financial, emotional, and professional life? Do you believe that you can prosper? Do you believe that you can be disciplined, determined, focused, a true leader of your own path? Or do you still carry beliefs of limitation, fear, and imminent failure? Start noticing, because noticing is the first step in reprogramming. You can only change what you recognize. And when you recognize, you have the chance to change. This is where the growth mindset comes into play. It tells you that everything that seems like a limit today is actually a starting point, an invitation to evolve, to expand, to challenge your previous version and build a new one. And now, I want to hear from you. What pattern are you determined to eliminate from today onward? Write it down in the comment. It could be something like, no more self-sabotage, no more fear of failure, or I am freeing my mind from scarcity. Write it down clearly. Write it down here. Not as a rant, but as an act of affirmation, a declaration of the new phase you are taking on. And of course, if this made sense to you, like the video now. This gesture shows that you value this type of content and helps me to continue bringing messages that truly transform. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now, because in the next few minutes, you will discover the step that is missing. Consolidate this new mentality definitively. Stay with me, because the next part is where everything starts to fit together. Now that you understand why so many attempts at change have failed, it's time to understand with clarity and richness of detail how you can take control of your transformation process. The solution lies in something extremely simple, but which, when done with intention, consistency, and true emotion, has the power to completely rebuild the foundation of your mind, the daily routine of mental reprogramming. And you may be surprised at how practical this practice is, because you don't need hours, you don't need expensive tools, you need 5 minutes, just 5 minutes a day. And these 5 minutes, if used well, can put you on a completely different path than the one you've been on up until now. It all starts with the decision to see your mind as your most valuable asset. Just as you wouldn't leave your house open for anyone to come in and mess everything up, you also need to learn to protect and organize your thoughts before they take over automatically. And that's why, in this mental reprogramming routine, the first step is to identify a belief that you know is limiting you. It could be that old inner voice that says, "You're not good enough, you can't stay focused, you weren't born to be financially successful, you always mess up." Maybe you don't even need to think too much to recognize this belief, because it's been with you for years. And now, the time has come to uninstall this pattern. Once you've identified this belief, you'll create an opposing, positive affirmation, like a new command that you'll send to your subconscious. But be careful. This affirmation needs to be in the present tense, short, powerful, and emotionally charged. No, "one day I'll be more confident." No, you'll say, "I'm completely confident in who I am," or "I act with discipline and focus every day." You're not trying to convince yourself of something that isn't true. You're teaching your mind to construct a new reality from a new language. And this is where the magic of conscious repetition comes in. Every day, as soon as you wake up, before you pick up your phone, before you talk to anyone, you will sit in silence, close your eyes for a few seconds, and repeat your new affirmation with true emotion. Not just saying it for the sake of saying it. You will say it and feel it. Say it and imagine it. Say it and visualize. Because that is how your subconscious understands that it is real. When you combine words, emotions, and mental images, you create a powerful combination that the brain records as true. Visualize in detail yourself living as this new version. See your posture, see your routine, see your decision. Imagine the results appearing. It doesn't matter if you haven't experienced them in practice yet. What matters is that your mind is trained to recognize these patterns as possible, familiar, and expected. Remember, the brain doesn't distinguish between a real experience and one lived with emotional intensity in the mind. So use this to your advantage. After this step, take a deep breath. Do this consciously. 3 long, intentional breaths. During this time, you will anchor this positive feeling within yourself. Imagine that with each breath, you are taking in confidence, clarity, and power. And as you exhale, you are releasing doubt, fear, and insecurity. This simple, conscious breathing exercise is an emotional reset. It calms the nervous system, brings you into the present moment, and prepares your mind to operate with greater clarity. Finally, you will create a personal mantra, something short, direct, and powerful. Something you can repeat throughout the day whenever you feel yourself slipping back into old patterns. It could be something like, "Nothing stops me. I am focused and in action. I am in control of my thoughts. My mind works for me." This mantra is like a reset button. It helps you stay aligned with your new identity, even when distractions try to pull you off track. And here's the most important detail of all. You'll do this routine twice a day, when you wake up and before you go to sleep. Why? Because during these 2 times, your brain is in a more receptive state, known as the alpha state. It's in this state that your subconscious is most accessible, most vulnerable to accepting suggestions. Hill called this the sacred moment of the mind, and it's precisely in these moments that you plant the deepest seed. Imagine the difference this will make in you after 7 days, 14 repetitions, then 30 days, 60, 90. It's not about a radical leap of change overnight. It's about repetition with intention. It's about progressively strengthening your new identity. You'll notice that, little by little, you'll start to react differently to situations. You'll notice that your mind doesn't sabotage itself as strongly as before. You'll notice that fear diminishes, that procrastination loses ground, that focus starts to last longer. And this happens because your identity is changing at its root. And that's what separates those who try from those who transform. And maybe you're thinking that all of this sounds too simple, but that's where the secret lies. Simplicity is what makes this practice sustainable. And what is sustainable transform? Napoleon Hill understood this deeply. That's why he insisted so much on daily mental discipline, because he knew that without mastery of the mind, no plan, no matter how brilliant, survives. Now it's your turn to put this into practice. And if something I said here today connected with you, I want you to write in the comments right now a phrase that represents what you are deciding to plant in your mind from today on. It could be something like, I am presence and purpose, my mind creates my reality, or simply, conscious reprogramming. Choose the one that most resonates with what you feel at this moment, and leave it there. Because when you write, you record, and when you record, you strengthen. And of course, if this content did you good, like the video, this shows me that I am on the right path in delivering content that nourishes your mind, inspires you, and, most importantly, helps you take action. And if you haven't signed up yet, do it now, because what we are going to build together in the next steps is even deeper. You will understand how to protect this new mindset against everything that has tried to divert you before. The journey continues. If you've come this far with me, it's because something inside you has already started to move. Maybe you still don't know how to name exactly what you're feeling, but the truth is that this restlessness you carry is not a doubt. It's your new identity trying to emerge. It's that part of you that is tired of repeating the same patterns and has finally understood that real change begins in the mind. It's not just about doing more, it's about being different, being more aligned, more intentional, more conscious. And that's exactly why this simple mental reprogramming routine can be the turning you've been looking for. From now on, you have a real tool in your hand, and my invitation to you is direct. For 7 days, just 7 days, commit to this routine. Apply it the way I showed you, right when you wake up and before you go to sleep. No skipping, no negotiating with the old mind that will try to convince you that you don't need all. Just follow the process. Choose a belief that you want to eliminate. Create a counter statement that expresses who you want to become. Visualize, breathe with presence. Repeat with emotion. Use your personal mantra throughout the day. These are 5 minutes that can change the course of your next few years. And when I say this, I'm not exaggerating. I'm speaking based on real results, on behavioral science, and on Napoleon Hill's own teaching. He used to say, thoughts are things, and the mind, when mastered with purpose, becomes the most powerful lever of achievement that exists. But I don't want you to believe it just because I say it. I want you to try it. I want you to prove it to yourself. I want you to live the process, because the truth is, you don't need more motivation. You need a commitment to a new version of yourself, a stronger, more centered, more focused version, a version that leads your life with strategy, clarity, and emotional discipline. And that version begins to manifest when you show your mind every day the kind of thinking that deserves to live inside you. And when you finish this 7-day journey, and you will, I want you to come back here. Come back in the comments and tell me what changed. It could be something small, like feeling lighter, more present, more focused. It could be something big, like making a decision you've been putting off for months. The important thing is for you to register, declare it, show yourself that something has changed, and I'll be here reading each comment, one by one, as I always do, because this channel is a living space, a space for real transformation, and I'm committed to each person who decides to embark on this path of growth. By the way, if you already know which belief you are going to work on in these 7 days, share it now in the comment. You can write something like, I will free myself from the fear of making mistakes, or I am reprogramming my mind for abundance, or even, from today on, my discipline commands my action. You choose the phrase. What matters is your commitment to it. What matters is that you take this first visible step. And this comment is more than a symbolic gesture. It is an anchor, a written decision that reinforces your new mental positioning. And if this content touched a deep chord within you, if something I said here made sense, like this video right now, this isn't just about engagement. It's about you saying to yourself, I choose to nourish my mind with content that elevates me. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe now. Don't put it off. Because in the next video, I'm going to guide you on an even deeper path. We're going to talk about how to shield this new identity against the invisible saboteurs that lurk around you. We're going to talk about how to keep your mental frequency high even when everything around you tries to pull you back. We're going to talk about how to transform this practice into a lifestyle. And all of this is part of building a mindset of success, growth, and true personal leadership. So now it's up to you. 7-day, 5-minute, total present, true emotion, and a choice to build every day. A mind that works in your favor. I believe in you. And more important than that is that you believe. Because that's the first sign that the transformation has already begun. Let's work together, step by step, to activate what is strongest, most disciplined, most conscious, and most capable within you. Because you're not here by chance. You're here because you're ready. Ready to lead your mind. And when you lead your mind, you lead your life. And when you lead your life, there are no limits to what you can achieve. So comment, apply, and come back here to tell me. I'm here and I'm with you, always. Now take a deep breath and start. Because the next day could be the first of the rest of your new story. If you've made it this far, it's because something inside you truly connected with this message. If at any point in this video you felt clearer, stronger, if something awakened within you, if you noticed that your mindset began to expand, that's not by chance. It's because you're ready to take a new step in your journey of personal development, inner growth, and leadership of your own life. So, if you feel that you have developed your mindset and are leaving here more motivated than when you arrived, subscribe to the channel now. This is your space. This is your time. Here, each content is designed to strengthen your mind and help you build a life with more purpose, focus, and direction. Your subscription shows that you are committed to your evolution. And if you stayed with me until the end, comment below. My mind now works for me. This sentence is your declaration. It is your personal activation code for this new stage. And yes, I will read it and leave my heart in your comment. Please also leave your like, because this shows that you value this content and helps the message reach more people who, like you, are seeking real transformation. And it doesn't stop there. The next video that will help you delve even deeper into this journey is already appearing on the screen. Click and continue with me. You are just beginning to create your new story. Let's go together.